is dedicated to empowering our communities by providing progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional voice. Progressive talk radio is black owned and operated. We strive to be an intersectional highlight the progressive talk radio for our spaces. We strive to be an intersectional highlight the progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive ourselves as we provide progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional progressive talk radio. It's time for the Robin Report with Robin Ayers. Progressive talk radio for our audience. Follow Robin at Robin Ayers. You're listening to the Robin Report on KBLA Talk 58. We strive to be an intersectional progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional.
You are inside the Raw Report on KBLA Top 1580, where we bring you the latest in entertainment news, trending topics, and interviews. I'm your host, Robin Ayers. Happy Friday to you all. Happy Friday. I hope you are doing well. It's a great day to go into the weekend. I know that's right. Okay, Andy, I see you. Hey, it's the turn up. It feels good. It's a Friday energy. You know how we do it. Listen, we have another great show for you on deck, as you already know. I hope you all enjoyed yesterday's show with my two beautiful daughters, Brooklyn and Madison Ayers, as well as Cheyenne Corinne. They were wonderful, weren't they? They really were wonderful. Thank you so much. Andy said yes. Okay, thank you guys. And thank you for all of the support, and I saw all of the comments and compliments to the girls. It was really nice to have them in here with me, and it was great to get their feedback.
Progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional progressive
I gotta watch my back. Somebody might come and get my job. Yeah, they both like to talk. Brooklyn has a voice. Brooklyn has a voice, and Madison has an opinion, which is very important. Maybe they'll do something together. Happy birthday to Lorenz Tate. You know, Love Jones. You know, all of that good stuff. Love Jones, dead president. All of the above. Congratulations to Lorenz Tate for still looking like he's 16 years old, coming straight out of Menace to Society. That's just definitely a good look for him. Let's see, there's a lot going on out here in the streets. We will talk about at some point the fact that Neo's baby mom, Sade, we talked about her and we talked about Neo and their saga and all the things going on with them. There are new reports that she says she can't talk about quite yet. So I'm trying to wait for her to be able to speak to the facts or to now what we're considering allegations. But there are reports that she hopes her oldest son that she has with Neo, she hopes her child fights another battle to hit the kids right. I mean, he can't be more than 2 years old, but apparently there was some pepper spray involved and all kinds of things. There's now restraining orders involved. So I'm sure she will speak to this very, very soon, but this is not a good look already. We'll see what we can get from her whenever she is able to talk about it. I also do have a question of the day. I want to know from you. child at birth, do you feel like that child becomes what you named them? I want to know, because oftentimes, like right now, if I Google my name, Robin, if I Google the name, it is literally a copy and paste description of who I am. That's how I feel. The reason I'm asking this question is Rihanna and A$AP Rocky have reportedly named their second child. You ready for it? The kid's name, Riot. What are you expecting from a child named Riot? I don't know. Everybody's got something cool to name their kids nowadays, but their first son is named Rizza, and the second name now is Riot. So we'll see. I want to see what you guys have to say. I will go ahead and put that in the poll, and I have some other questions for you later on as well. But let's go ahead and get into the Rob report today, Andy. Okay, as you have probably heard by now, Shirley Strawberry is in these streets. Who would have ever known that Shirley Strawberry, with the Strawberry Letter, that we've been listening to for a long time now, many years, she's a co-host with Steve Harvey, and she is married to a gentleman who is currently incarcerated for a lot of different charges, but check this out. There were some leaked conversations to her incarcerated husband that have now become public. She is discussing seizures, she is discussing certain things about Steve, certain things about his wife Marjorie. We'll get into all of that and see what happens from here. I mean, the next time that they go live, Steve and Shirley Strawberry, it's all going to come out. They're expected to go live on Monday, and I'm sure we'll probably have an update for you. But we're going to talk about it here on the Rob Report. We're also going to talk about the late Jim Brown. His daughter, Kimberly Brown, she filed a lawsuit. And I will tell you why and what she's filing the lawsuit about. We know that the late Jim Brown, incredible, legendary football player, and his wife, Monique Brown, who is a beautiful soul.
Full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
Venture X from Capital One is the travel card for people always asking,
where next?
You earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars, and 5x miles on flights booked through Capital One Travel, and 2x miles on everything else you buy with Venture X. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com.
Cookie
for
wants to be a
details.
professional wrestler.
I'm Cookie Serratos and I'm 11 years old.
She also wants to win all the medals. That's why Cookie and her family make every day count, squeezing out her best with Go-Go Squeeze.
Okay, Cookie, let's break for a Go-Go Squeeze.
Go-Go Squeeze Fruit on the Go pouches are a nutritious snack made from 100% fruit with no sugar added.
Go, Cookie!
Because when you nurture your kids, you squeeze out the best in them. Squeeze out the best with Go-Go Squeeze. Not a low-calorie food. Products range from 11 to 13 grams of sugar and 60 to 70 calories per serving.
Mom's early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take.
And when I left the Evan-On, we decided together that it was time to see a doctor and make a plan.
Early detection gave us more time to seek out information and support as a family.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news.
You're inside the Rob Report.
With Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Well, she's usually in studio with me, but now she is recovering from the Beyonce concert. We've got Stephanie O on the phone joining the Rob Report. How are you today, Stephanie?
I'm good, and I'm actually recovering from not going to the LA concert. I'm recovering from FOMO because that clearly was the one I should have been at.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess maybe anybody could have assumed that it was going to be special, especially for her birthday, her last performance here.
I make terrible judgment calls. Never again.
Well, at least you did get to experience the Renaissance tour. It looked like everybody and their mama was at the Renaissance tour, but I'm glad you had fun there. And I'm sorry that you got FOMO from looking at all the actually people are still posting their photos and their videos online from that Beyonce concert.
Yeah, so they're rubbing it in my face.
They rubbing it in your face. Okay, yeah, next time. We'll see if she comes back and does another tour. Happy Friday to you, Stephanie. I'm sure by now you, along with all of us, have heard what's going on with Shirley Strawberry, which is so interesting. You know, when people are in the industry, and she is 70 years old. She has been unproblematic for many, many years. And she's not really been in the limelight. She's not really been in the press or anything like that for any salacious reasons. But now she finds herself right there because her husband has been incarcerated since 2022. And she's got leaked audios. Let me first ask you: have you heard any of the audio that has been put out?
I hadn't heard the actual audio itself, but I did read some of the transcripts of what was said.
Okay.
But the audio itself, I hadn't heard. But when it comes to leaked audio, it's one of those things where it came from someone. Like, who's the messy person who put that out there? And why?
Yeah, definitely. That always trips me out too. I'm like, who is the person that ignited this, and there's a person behind the scenes, maybe in the jail or something like that, who was privy to this conversation and then sent it. I don't know if we'll ever find that out, but it does make you wonder. And just because you haven't heard the audio, I believe we do have some audio. Andy, let's go ahead and let everybody hear, just so you know, and I want to set the foundation of what we're getting ready to hear. Shirley Strawberry is talking to her husband, who is currently incarcerated. She mentioned there are different parts, okay? There are different parts to these conversations and different allegations. There is a mistress, allegedly there's a mistress involved here, other women who are involved. But specifically right now, we're talking about Shirley Strawberry, and she's talking about Steve Harvey, visiting him. She visited Steve Harvey. She's talking about him as well as Marjorie, his wife Marjorie, and the home that they live in and sort of the lifestyle that they live. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
You know what? They have Marjorie has her own spa, her own workout room, and her own spa. And she could go in there and get massages every day. People come to her house and and work her out and all of that. I was like, oh, God, what a dream.
Does she look old, though? Does she look like she's getting old?
No, I haven't seen her, but she looks good on her pictures.
Oh, she ain't there?
No, she's not there. If she was there, we probably wouldn't have been all over the house. Wouldn't have done it. No, he's scared.
Damn, sure right. God, what you say? He's scared. God.
All of that, yeah. But yeah, he's everything. I knew I wasn't supposed to be in there, but he brought us in, so I said okay.
Okay, but, let's go ahead and I'll sum up the rest of it for you. He goes on to ask if Marjorie looks old. I mean, he seems to be sort of antagonizing things here a little bit.
Yeah,
he does.
Now that I hear the audio, he leaked it.
Yeah,
because his lawyers can get access to.
Oh, you think it came from his side?
Yeah, the way it sounds like you said, he's antagonizing. He's asking all these questions, and he's trying to get her to say more and more. And his lawyers can always go in and pull that audio. So, yeah, I feel like he leaked it because he's the only person who would know that they were talking about Steve Harvey and Marjorie, and he probably started the whole conversation.
So you're saying even though he's in jail, he had these conversations. This is your thought, right? Your thought that he's in jail and his attorneys got access to the audio and leaked it.
I think he had them go get it. And I think what may have happened, or the reason, he may need some commissary money. Somebody's paying big bucks to hear that. I'm just saying, put some money on his books. He'll be all right.
Oh, you going there? Okay, you saying basically they set this whole thing up so that they can get paid for this audio, so he can get some commissary. That is
I
funny.
don't know if Shirley did it. She may not have known, because I don't know if she would jeopardize, her relationships and all that. But I definitely, come on, he's in jail.
Well,
so,
let me jump in here, Stephanie. I'm not sure that it was that. Okay, the reason why is she has mentioned, I've listened to quite a bit of the audio, not all of it, but she mentioned that her job is actually in jeopardy because they have a conduct clause. She works for iHeartMedia ultimately, and her being associated with like her husband and the crimes that he allegedly committed, there's a conduct clause there. So she's afraid even to for these things to get out. She's been trying to kind of reel it back in a little bit. She even explains to her husband at some point that this is not looking good for me. She's talking about moving away, getting a head start in other places. So I'm not quite sure. Now, we don't know if he's a part of anything shady. From the looks of it, it does. Okay, it looks like he's already a part of a lot of shady things.
He did, yeah. He probably did something. I feel like Pretty Brown Mimi said in the chat that if she's calling her husband in jail, you would think Steve and Marjorie would be the last on his mind, and I agree.
Yeah.
Unless he set this up so that, he can get some money for them, for him, he probably, he just, I don't know. He seems very shady. I don't trust that man. I don't know him, but I don't trust him.
Just so we're clear, some of these charges that he has been hit with are child pornography. Reportedly, he had been caught with images of minors on his computer. He's been charged with wire fraud. There's a whole laundry list of things that he's being charged with. And so it does look like he has been into some shady things. Now, again, these are allegations. He is in jail right now, but for a lot of things, it looks like Shirley Strawberry is still trying to keep her nose clean. But here's the problem. The problem is you are talking to, allegedly, your shady husband about now your boss and his wife. She's talking about fitness in here. She says Steve Harvey pretty much was winded when he walked up the stairs. She says he was very winded, meaning she's sort of alleging that he's out of shape. She's talking about their house and how lavish it is and how Marjorie is living at their home, how she's got a beautiful sauna and spa, and she can have all the services that she wants in her home. And although she says it's a dream, she's also saying that Marjorie looks at her and I guess all of the people who work along with Steve as the help. She was like, and her husband is like, yeah, that's not cool. So, I mean, they are talking. It's messed up because these are meant to be private conversations. I mean, what husband or what wife doesn't go home to her husband and sort of pillow talk with him, and you expect to have it just pillow talk and talk amongst yourselves. But this information got leaked. I think it's unfair. What do you think?
When you call it jail, it tells you that it's a recorded line.
Very true.
So you're not supposed to say anything on those recorded lines that you don't want out. Mm-hmm. And once you say that, it's out. It's free for whoever to use. However, it's the first thing they say when you do a jail call. So but when you pillow talk at home, it's different because it's not. Well, you don't expect it to leave between you and your husband, but not on the recorded line.
That's true. No, that's absolutely true. Everybody is warned. They say don't talk about this type of stuff online. You can't these days. You can't even write letters talking about crimes or admitting to anything unless you want that to be held against you. But I guess what I'm saying is usually even in conversations in jail talk, you still don't think things are going to come out or be leaked unless it's a part of some sort of criminal offense. You don't think talking about your boss and your boss's wife, you don't think that type of stuff will be leaked. So in essence, this is still sort of pillow talk, I guess. And it's a little unfair. If I'm Shirley and I'm just talking to my man, by the way, she does continue to tell him, and again, it's unclear if these were different conversations, but she does tell him that her truck was seized.
Her truck was seized. Her wedding ring worth $200,000 was also seized by the police because they're saying that this is going to probably help pay back restitution for her husband's crimes to the victims. So she is out here in these streets getting caught up behind her own husband. So she's having these types of conversations with him that are supposed to be, I guess, private, semi-private, and now they're leaked. What does she do from here? If you are Shirley, Stephanie, let us know. What does she do from here?
Oh, well, I mean, I try not to be a Shirley. No criminals for me. But I just, my heart hurts for her. It really does because, you know, she is in a tight spot and she seems like she's just an innocent, like, bystander in all of this. And she's taking, like you said, all of these hits for things that her husband has done. And, I mean, I don't know what I would do in her shoes. I just, you know, I pray for her because it's a lot.
It is a lot. Now, she did. She tried to keep the fact that her husband was incarcerated quiet for some time. And ultimately, she decided to tell Steve, her boss, because she understood that it is possible that her job was in jeopardy because of that conduct clause. She eventually talked to Steve and she said she admitted to her husband, yeah, I told him about it. And really the only thing that he had to say was, okay, are you okay? Do you need anything? And he also encouraged her to get her stuff together. Be prepared to move on. Be prepared to get going with your life, right? Which is great advice. That's good for Steve. However, he didn't know that she's over here talking about him getting winded and talking about his wife. He didn't know that at the time. So they're getting ready, I'm sure, to talk about all of this on Monday. Do you have any thoughts on what this conversation is getting ready to look like?
Oh, it's going to be an uncomfortable one. I can assume that she is going to be very apologetic. This might be the end of her job, so I do hope that she has set some things up.
Oh, gosh, how scary. I mean, she's been with Steve over a decade for sure. She's been in the business for quite some time, but she's been with Steve for a while. And it doesn't look good. And I'll have to admit, even though she said what she mentioned about Steve and Marjorie, it wasn't that bad. The worst thing that she said was that he is afraid of Marjorie. She also said that Marjorie looks at them like the help. I mean, that's not too bad, right? That's not bad enough for her to get fired. But what I'm afraid of is the fact that this conduct clause, we're talking about it over here in the YouTube chat. Terry Tari, hello to you. She says, Robin, you are right. iHeartMedia doesn't want their employees or their relatives to have anything to do with child porn. That's a big one. That is a big one. So I'm almost just afraid that alone, having nothing to do with Steve, that alone might jeopardize her career just in general, definitely her job. But I'm also worried about what could happen to their relationship, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I think when she would probably end up having to get down to, and that's probably what she's been spending you're going to spend this whole weekend doing, getting down to who leaked this phone call, where did it come from, and when she finds that out, then that's going to be a huge determiner of what her and her husband, what the future of her and her husband holds.
Very true.
Yeah, if it comes out that anything related to him was the cause of this, I don't know how she could continue to deal with him.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I try not to be judgmental, but I have to admit, and I just got to keep it real. When I was listening to the phone conversation, just listening to her husband's disposition and how he was talking, he just really kind of seemed like she was trying to explain to him everything she's dealing with. And he's just like, all right, well, okay. It didn't seem right. They don't seem equally yoked to me. That's just my opinion, although I'm trying not to be judgmental. Marcus Atkins says she's in a hard place being an advisor or being an advice giver on air and having to heed her own advice on relationships. She needs to resign, lay low, and handle her situation. It looks like Pretty Brown Mimi is saying the same thing, that Shirley needs to get a separate lawyer, divorce her husband, and help herself. And Lavelle Delone says she violated his trust above everything. That probably is a good point. It just looks like right now what we have is a whole bunch of mess, but I guess we'll see what happens on Monday after they have these conversations. Tough conversations, but again, the whole world is going to be privy to that as well. So they will discuss that, and we will keep you updated right here on the Raw Report. Stephanie we got to keep you around to discuss these other conversations when we come forward. But right now, we've got news, traffic, and sports. You are listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay there.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy, Lil Real Howery. Right now, you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580. That's right. The Raw Report.
More of The Raw Report with Robin Ayers when we come forward.
I'm Doug Davis with the latest from the Black Information Network. President Biden is reportedly weighing a plan to force migrants to remain in Texas as the immigration crisis grows. According to the LA Times, the plan would force migrants who illegally crossed into the U.S. seeking asylum to remain in that border state while awaiting screening. A new social justice organization is being coordinated by a former president of the Atlanta NAACP. Richard Rose announced the formation of the Communities for United Justice, which he says will first focus on voter registration and voter education. Congress is racing to pass a short-term spending bill to avoid a government shutdown at the end of the month. Senate leaders returned to Washington this week and said the chamber is on track to pass legislation needed to keep the government funded beyond the September 30th deadline. And that is the latest. I'm Doug Davis from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com. Have a great weekend.
Starting on the Santa Monica Freeway, where we've had a lot of problems today, eastbound side of the 10 past La Cienega. An accident's in the right-hand lane, and you're backed up to Cloverfield coming away from Santa Monica. And up ahead, 10 east slows again from Arlington to the East LA interchange. 105 heading westbound right at the 710. It's an accident in the carpool lane. Heading to the airport, you'll find delays on the west end from the 605 freeway junction to the 710 freeway junction.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Since 2010, Blindster has sold millions of custom blinds, shades, and shutters to satisfied customers across the country with 20,000 five-star reviews and an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. And right now, save 50% off any order during our Labor Day sale. Blindster.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Get ready for a big-time weekend of football. College football tomorrow, the NFL on Sunday. USC and UCLA are in action Saturday. The 6th-ranked Trojans are at home against Stanford. UCLA is at San Diego State. Everybody's going to have breakfast in the morning while watching Colorado and Nebraska. Home opener for Deion Sanders in Colorado. 9 a.m. kickoff tomorrow morning on Fox. There will be no gold medal for USA basketball in the FIBA World Cup. The U.S. lost by 2 to Germany in the semifinals Friday morning. Lakers guard Austin Reeves had 21 points off the bench. Tomorrow night at 7 here on KBLA, join me and my co-host Neil Scarborough for Out of Bounds. We'll get you ready for week 1 of the NFL season and recap all the buzz in college football. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is dedicated to empowering our communities by providing progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional voice for the voiceless. As a Black-owned and operated station, we are committed to highlighting diverse perspectives and creating safe spaces for meaningful dialogue. We believe that everyone has something unique to bring to these political, economic, social, and cultural conversations, and we don't shy away from the hard conversations about current events. We endeavor to be a beacon of hope and understanding, while boldly challenging listeners to think more deeply about difficult topics that impact us all. With this in mind, our mission statement at KBLA Talk 1580 is simple: to create an inclusive platform that promotes civil discourse through honest dialogue and encourages personal growth among our listeners, so they can become the active agents of change. Our vision is to establish ourselves as the premier radio network with relevant programming across the beloved community, connecting people through shared experiences and collective power for lasting impact beyond these challenging times. KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Maisha Cairo here with a quick recap from my time at JP Morgan Chase's Advancing Black Wealth Tour. There were speakers Ian Dunlap, Damon John, Lynn Richardson, MC Light, Don Kennedy, to name a few. Take a listen to what Justin Grant, Community Development Lead at Chase's Advancing Black Pathway, let's see what he had to say.
So I'm Justin Grant. I lead community development and national partnerships for JP Morgan Chase's Advancing Black Pathway strategy. And so we're focused on strengthening the economic foundation of black communities, and we're making targeted investments in programs like the Advancing Black Wealth Tour to help us get our tools and resources out to the community to drive sustained impact over time.
So when it comes to black and brown people, it sounds like Chase is making it their personal responsibility not only to facilitate these events, but to educate and provide resources. So, Mr. Grant, I have to ask, what does wealth building look like for the individual?
It's home ownership. It's having that freedom to be able to start your own business and create jobs in your community. And it's having that long-term plan towards retirement, having that vision for what you want your life to be, and you have the resources to actually live it.
I'm Aisha Cairo. Thanks for sticking around. That was my recap from Chase's Advancing Black Wealth Tour. First stop was here in LA, and they're taking it national.
Turning my pain into purpose is pretty much what I have done to start this foundation.
In August 2020, after the death of George Floyd, Bridget Floyd and other family members established the George Floyd Memorial Foundation in support of the black community.
It's going to take more than just us as a foundation. It's going to take the community, the world, to make a change.
Fight for racial justice for the black community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council. Keeping you informed about what's really going on.
Who's got next?
And what not to miss in entertainment. You're listening to The Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
What up, Mo? What up? You know it's your girl, KC. Oh, hey. I've been thinking about this guy I really feel a lot, and yeah. Everything that he's been through, I just want him to trust me. He should. I'll never hurt him, but what? You know, look, if he loves you, he need to show you that he loves you. I just feel like, let me be the one who can take you from all the things you've seen.
Yes. That's the vibe right there. You are inside the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Listen, we can't even move forward right now because we may have solved the problem. We may have solved the puzzle. If you're just joining us right now, come on in here. Welcome to the Raw Report. Happy Friday to you. Let's get our contributor back on the line, Stephanie O. We are talking about Steve Harvey, Shirley Strawberry, the saga that's continuing, and it's actually going to continuing on Monday. When this is all unfolding between the two of them, we will see what happens. But here's the thing. We were talking on the break, and listen, this is something pretty deep. Let's just think about it. First, it's the tweet about the comedians, right? For Steve Harvey, there's a tweet that comes from his social media that says, what comedian is funnier, or name a comedian that is not funny at all. He had to come out and say, hey, I didn't have anything to do with that. That's somebody on my team. He seemingly said that he was going to X them out, right? They were no longer going to have a job. Then all of a sudden, there are these rumors that his wife is cheating on him, talking about with the bodyguard and the chef. So then he has to come out and address that and say, you know what? That's not true. We're fine. But where did these rumors come from? Where did that start? Now, all of a sudden, maybe it's not necessarily about what Shirley Strawberry has said or done or talked about with her husband. Maybe what it's trying to, whoever leaked this, maybe what they're trying to do is now line Steve up again and say he's afraid of his wife, and his wife Marjorie looks at everybody like the help, and maybe it's trying to make it seem as though there's something there that is negative with Steve and his wife Marjorie. Stephanie O, does that solve the puzzle?
I feel that it's definitely some kind of inside job, because I have never heard this much about Steve in my life.
Ever.
Back to back to back. So something's going on. They're going to set it up for something big, I'm sure. We'll see.
It looks like a whole setup. We don't know what's going to happen again. Hopefully hopefully he can get to the bottom of this. Truly, I really do like Steve. I love the example that he's setting, that he's set for years now. I love that he's an entrepreneur and that he really does come from an empowerment position. I believe, though, that if anything negative, what people don't like is the fact that he almost makes it seem like his relationship, like he's figured it out. It's all perfect and his lifestyle is all perfect. They definitely romanticize their relationship online. I'm not knocking it. I'm just talking about that's what it looks like. I actually truly like looking at them. They look like a great, handsome couple to me. But it comes across as though they are romanticizing it like the whole life is perfect. So I think I have seen and heard negative things about that. I don't know who's trying to set Steve up or destroy his legacy and what he's built. But again, we shall wait and see. Right now, over in the YouTube, the poll says first the tweet, then the cheating rumors, now the leaked audio. Is someone trying to destroy Steve? Right now, 86% of you say yes. Maybe this is the solved puzzle. Maybe, Andy, we might be onto something. We could be onto something. Andy, am I also making a point that it seems negative a little bit sometimes from other people who are viewing their relationship, trying to make it seem like it is all perfect, or that they're romanticizing it. Your thoughts?
100%. We live in a society where I feel like we do praise negativity. We talk a lot about we want to be in a positive state, we want positivity, but anytime something negative happens, we kind of gravitate towards it. We add fuel to the fire, this, that, and the third. So Steve Harvey, presenting himself quote unquote perfectly, there's going to be some people that's not going to like that, and they're going to try to figure something out. They're going to want to find a skeleton. And for whatever reason, you know what I'm saying, just for their own personal enjoyment, would love to see the downfall of somebody who's at least trying to present himself positively. It's possible.
It's definitely very possible. And for some, there are some people who want to watch that, but then there are some people who want to actually be the one who was the person who actually caused that downfall. Yeah. We're going to wait and see. Penny Thompson says, Robin, haters are going to hate. Leave Steve alone and live your best life and stop trying to destroy others. That's what I say, too. Live your best life and don't pay attention to anybody else. But, unfortunately, there are still haters out here, and they will continue to be. Let's go ahead and move on with our next topic. We're talking about Jim Brown, who is famous, the late famous legend, Jim Brown. His daughter, Kimberly Brown, has filed a lawsuit claiming that her late father, suffered severe extreme CTE. Now, for those of you who don't know what CTE is, I'm sure you have heard, I'm sure you know what this is, chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Did I say that right? Maybe Andy laughing at me. I think I said it right. She basically is asking that his will and trust be invalidated. She's saying this because in 2016, when all of this was set up, his will and trust, she's saying, listen, he wasn't even in his right mind. He was already suffering. He was already having cognitive disadvantages. And his wife, who he's been with and whom I love, Monique Brown, his wife is the sole executor of his estate. And although we don't know what kind of money they're working with, we do know that there's a mansion in LA. It's a very nice home in LA, and that it's valuated at $7.5 million. So there's got to be some money we're talking about here. His daughter is saying this is not right, and she's trying to invalidate that. Being a daughter, I don't know. This is a little messy. It gets a little convoluted. What do you think about the fact that his daughter, we don't know what the relationship is between her and her stepmom, Monique, but the fact that she's trying to invalidate this will and trust to maybe say, I want a piece of it, or I want to be involved in his will and in his estate planning. What do you think, Stephanie?
Oh, this is such a messy one because, when it comes to CTE, CTE can't be diagnosed until, it's diagnosed only postmortem. So that means that if they haven't, in order for her to say he has CTE, they'd actually have to check his brain and diagnose him now. But with that said, let's say he does have CTE and he wasn't in his right state of mind, then that's a whole nother legal thing that has to be decided if they go back and determine. And once it is determined that he, what can be done. It's such a messy thing. It's such a confusing thing. And, when it comes to death, I always feel that death is it just rips families apart, unfortunately. I would love for them to be able to figure it out amongst themselves, but that's something that, it's so hard to answer this question because you never really know who should have what, who's right and who's wrong. But I just wish that they both could come together and figure it out without having to involve the courts, because I don't think anyone will be happy with either decision.
Well, you know what? It's supposed to be the opposite here. I know we talk about people who, when talking about death in the family, a lot of the times when someone dies in the family, it does tear people apart because everybody is trying to grab at, especially if there's a lot of money involved, everybody's trying to grab at it and everybody wants to lay hold of some, have entitlement to say, I'm going to get this, I'm entitled to that. But he actually said, I'm going to have my will and my trust established so that there is no confusion here. And that he says, I do want my wife to be able to be the executor of my estate. So you would think there should be no problem here. But the daughter is saying, now she's like, I don't know if she tried to contest this back then. I don't know if she tried to talk to her father back then when he was still alive to say, we should invalidate this. He wasn't in his right mind. So we don't know the behind the scenes and the conversations that were happening then. But, now she's trying to invalidate it and say he wasn't in his right mind. So I don't know if she has any sort of validity there right now. 75% of you say that she does not have a valid reason to invalidate her dad's will and trust. We'll see what happens with that. That's just something that I wanted to get your input on. But briefly, before I let you go, I do have another question for those of you who listen to or who watch reality television, reality TV. I used to be one of those ones, Stephanie. I don't know if you still watch or if you ever watched reality TV. Are you really kind of about that life?
I used to be like you. I used to be that person who was into it, and I had to let it go.
Yeah.
So I don't watch as much as I should. I try to keep up with what I can, but I don't really watch faithfully.
Sure.
No.
Well, same with me. I let it go a long time ago, but I know the players. I know the characters, right? Because I did used to watch it. So we're talking about Love and Hip Hop. There's a big situation going on, and just follow this story. If you don't watch reality television, that's okay. You'll understand where I'm going with this. There is two castmates on the show, Erica Mena and Spice. All right, Spice is although they are reality television stars, Spice is from Jamaica, and she is, I believe it's Jamaica. She is a recording artist. She's very popular where she's from. Erica Mena here from the States, but she is really known for being a reality television star. What happened was they had a conversation that turned into a very loud, it wasn't a physical tussle, but it was about to become a tussle, right? They had words exchanged, and in their words exchanging, they're trying to, get at one another. Spice tells Erica that Erica's son does not like her. That triggers Erica Mena, and she says, "You are a blue monkey." Now, Spice is a dark-skinned black woman. Erica Mena is a Puerto Rican, maybe Dominican. She's of some other descent. She was married to a black man, and she has children, black children now that she was married to a black man. But she calls her a blue monkey. Here's the deal. Of course, that sets everybody off. They say that's a racial slur. But Erica Mena was fired from Love and Hip Hop for one season, and people are saying that Love and Hip Hop, the establishment, they still put this episode out in order to get the ratings. And they should have fired her because they knew what she said when they taped it. They should have fired her back then. What are your thoughts? I don't know if you are, into this whole story, if you're caught up on it. What do you think about the fact that, number one, she called her a blue monkey? Is that a racial slur to you? And then number two, should she have been fired before, or is this it's firing her right now still gets the point across?
Yeah, so I have been following this story as well as familiar with, everybody involved. And I felt that a blue monkey has racial connotations. Whether Erica meant it that way or not, that is, not for me to say, but it does have racial connotations. And therefore, if people are offended by that or if people didn't like that, that's understandable. As for Love and Hip Hop, the best way for me to put this is I call cap. They knew exactly, like you said, they recorded it, they edited it, they showed it on television, and it wasn't until days of just backfire, basically, that they decided to do something about it. And so if you really felt that what Erica did was wrong, initially you should have either not shown the episode or just gotten rid of Erica then. It should not have been something that you had to air on television and get all of this, this hate from the public in order to finally decide to do something about it. So I feel that Love and Hip Hop is one of those shows that they use. This isn't the worst thing, I'll put it that way, that has been done or said on Love and Hip Hop. And there's many times they haven't done anything before. Things have gotten way more physical. Things have gotten crazy on Love and Hip Hop, and they hadn't done anything before. I just feel like this is just their way to kind of clout chase, and I don't really like that.
And I don't like that either, Stephanie. Okay, Pretty Brown Mimi says kids are off limits, but she said, but once you use racial slurs, you gotta go. Okay, I believe that as well. I'm definitely not about that racial slur life. We would have had some problems, but I agree. She should have been let go a long time ago. But definitely, clickbait. Clickbait is the name of the game. So you keep her on for the backlash, and then you do something about it, making it seem like you're handling your business now. Mona Scott Young. Although I like Mona Scott, I like her as a businesswoman, but she said she's handling it now that all the backlash is here. She's handled it and fired Erica Mena from the next season. Stephanie, it has been a pleasure talking to you. I appreciate you for calling in. Hopefully next time you'll be able to join me here in the studio.
Absolutely. I will, of course.
Yeah, thank you so much. And let everybody know where they can find you online.
As usual, you guys can follow me on Instagram or Twitter at 11-8. That's ELEVEN and the number 8. And, of course, I'll be back here every other Friday in studio. 90% of the time I'm in the studio.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get you back one of these days. All right, you enjoy the rest of your night, all right, Stephanie?
You too.
Thank you. And you guys, we have a nice little interesting Who's Got Next for you on the other side. Don't go anywhere. You are listening to The Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl BB, and you're listening to me on The Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're inside The Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Joey from Vermont, a farmer trying to get through the winter. Adriana from South Carolina, a single mother living paycheck to paycheck. Liam from Ohio, an injured father struggling to provide for his family. Hi, I'm Shanola Hampton, and I support the Feeding America network of food banks because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
1 in 4 Americans today are living with a disability.
I'm one of them. People with disabilities are extremely talented, resilient problem solvers that have so much to offer. And we've got a trusted ally on our side, an organization we can rely on, Easter Seals. Easter Seals is leading the way to full equity, inclusion, and access to healthcare, employment, and education for people with disabilities, families, and communities. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours.
Learn more and get involved at easterseals.com.
If you're a veteran with a service-connected disability that is directly impacting your ability to work, resources are available to help you find employment. VA's Veteran Readiness and Employment, or VR&E, can assist you with finding a job that uses your existing skills. Or, if you're interested in exploring a new field, a VR&E counselor can help you determine the right education or training options for a new career. Find out if VR&E is right for you by visiting va.gov/VRE today.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news.
You're inside the Rob Report.
With Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
All right, so yesterday, I'm not sure if y'all was feeling the Who's Got Next. And that's okay. Listen, that is okay. Today, though, I want to play for you someone who's got a very unique voice. Her name is Jules or Jewels. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but the song is called Song for You. Check it out.
Made this sound for you. Made this sound. I made this sound for you, baby, can't hold it back no more. You hypnotize me with your eyes, leaving me wanting more. Fell in love with you and foremost, baby, and it's mutual. We shouldn't really be together, but it's doable. But you know you're for me. Don't fight it, you're for me. I think about you every second, every minute, every day. Wish I was lying. You made me crazy over you. You're my obsession, and you wasn't even trying. I really tried to stay away. Now you're my addiction, and I can't lie. The best and worst for me, contradiction. It's kinda scary how I feel because you're seeming so unreal. Cause our love's barely even really scratched the surface. Wish I could take you like a pill. The way you're healing all my wounds, feel like you came into my life before a purpose. I'm wishing for the best for you, and I what's best for you. I see the pain behind your eyes, I'm patient when I'm next to you. Them pillow soft lips connect to mine, entwined our fingers so we'll feel fine. I'm in love with you, and I'm obsessed with you. I'm feeling blessed with you, I'll spend my nights with you. I wrote this love song for you, and I feel like nobody feel you like I do. Give me chills when I feel your touch. You cross my mind when I first wake up.
I'm liking it. Okay, Jewels. I don't know. I'm sorry. The way she spells it, but yeah, this is called Song for You. It's a vibe. It's cool. It's a relaxation moment, you know. Andy like, nah, we trying to have some energy this Friday. Yeah, definitely. Well, so far, all of you guys who have voted say that you do like this song. So go ahead and check her out. Add her to your playlist. And you already know how we do. Marcus Atkins says she sounds like a mix of SZA and Erykah Badu. The folk rock groove is cool. Okay. I'm sure she would appreciate that. That is definitely a compliment there. All right. What I don't want you to miss is happening today and tomorrow, and you got your last chance. Trap karaoke. Who wants to go? Trap karaoke is happening right here in LA. If you do want to check it out, it's you can go to trapkaraoke.com. And I'm all about karaoke anyway, but trap karaoke just seems like a whole, like, very fun night. So, yeah, you can definitely check that out on the website. Again, trapkaraoke.com. Yeah, you guys, listen. Great show today. Great shows this week. Thank you so much for everybody who's been tuning in this week and giving me feedback. I love the messages that you guys send, the texts, the emails, the DMs. I love it all. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe and download our KBLA 1580 app as well. It's Friday. You know what that means. The Voice of Reason is not happening. He's not going to be live, but you get the best of Zoe Williams' Voice of Reason tonight. That's going down on the other side. It has been beautiful. Enjoy your weekend, and I will be back on Monday. Yeah, I'll be back Monday. All right, it's been fun, you guys. Remember today and every day forward to be a blessing.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Doug Davis with the latest from the Black Information Network. President Biden is reportedly weighing a plan to force migrants to remain in Texas as the immigration crisis grows. According to the LA Times, the plan would force migrants who illegally cross into the U.S. seeking asylum to remain in that border state while awaiting screening.